In the shadows of Materi village. I died 10 years ago, but the pulse of life still lingers around me. I wander the streets of Materi village, transparent to others, but very much aware of every flicker of life and memory each villager holds. My purpose keeps me tethered to this realm. I can't move on until I fulfill what I never had the chance to complete in my living days. My heart aches for the orphaned children like me, for they pretend not to sense the bitterness of betrayal and cruelty simmering just beneath the surface of their lives. For it's the only way to survive the cruel life society puts them in. They only have to live a life of endurance and hope for a better future. That is why I chose to be a wandering ghost to protect my son and other orphaned children until he grows and takes over my role as the village protector. I feel it now, the dawning of times to come, the moment my son, Muzon, will awaken the powers I couldn't. I knew from the day he was born that destiny wrote his name among the stars, and although he has the blood of a madman coursing through him, Mena, he is fiercely gentle and kind-hearted, a light in this village cloaked in shadows. I watched as he experienced his first vision at the tender age of 7. It filled him with fear, but he kept it secret. A small boy should not bear such weight of the world, or so I thought. Every evening I walk around the village, a guardian spirit cloaked in sorrow, reminding myself of my past. My childhood was woven with terror. My parents perished when I was just a girl, and my Aunt Wanda took me in, not for love, for I was a mere tool for her greed. Her heart was iron, her tongue sharper than daggers, reminding me daily I was worth more dead than alive. She paraded lecherous men before her, and when she wasn't brokering deals, she showed me the enduring fire of her anger, leaving bruises on my skin that spoke of my painful and near-death existence. It was then, during my darkest days, that I encountered the madman, Mena. A shabbily dressed man with wild hair cascading down his face, he always seemed to appear in moments I desperately needed saving. He would crouch near the gates of my new prison called a home, or my school, offering me fruits while he devoured decayed ones. "You must be cautious, child of destiny," he warned mysteriously, a mantra that drummed in my ears. I was a perplexing mess even to myself, caught between an aching past and an uncertain future. At 11, I overheard a conversation between Aunt Wanda and the village chief. I remember the air thickening around me, my pulse quickening, the realization that I was to become his bride, the 10th of many. My aunt had already consumed the so-said dowry, and now it was her time to fulfill the agreement on her end, which was to give me out for marriage. And he would take me to his den of wives and children where the unknown happens. That was the last thread of hope I needed to sever. I vanished from her grasp, propelled by wild dreams of freedom. I took off and ran towards the forest, where I knew she wouldn't easily find me, since she wasn't familiar with the vast forest, and it was said dangerous wild animals lurked there. So I left my fate with the animals to the gods. Mena was waiting, as though he had foreseen it all. He muttered, "Child of destiny, it's now time. Follow me." He led me into the depths of the forest, whispering tales of an ancient tree house veiled in verdant secrets. Time lost meaning as I learned ancient techniques of power and dominion under his tutelage. I found solace there, shelter from my miserable past. The sacred tree house felt like home. Like I was born to be there. There was a certain aura of calmness there. And Mena kept smiling as if he understood my emotions. In these hidden groves, I began to understand Mena wasn't mad, he was a beacon, a guide of untold destinies. Through him, I gained a sense of purpose. He taught me ancient techniques on how to awaken my magic and control it. I became a hidden protector. Every time a dark force threatened our village, I'd be the first to sense and conquer it. For years, the village thrived peacefully under my careful protection. Some said I was the curse, that's why after I left, the village became peaceful. Others said it was like they could feel an energy watching over them. Over the years, I found myself attracted to Mena's demeanor. He even became my lover, my heart's ode to freedom, until the day came that I found myself heavy with a child, our son, Muson, blossoming within me. But destiny has a cruel way of ink-staining even the brightest dreams. Aunt Wanda, fierce in her attempts at destroying me, followed relentlessly. I endured the worst as I carried Muson, both our fates entwined. The day I delivered my son into the world, the most beautiful being I had ever seen, was the day my light began to flicker. Dark forces hunted us relentlessly, unyielding in their desire for vengeance. My soul withered amid the relentless assaults of Aunt Wanda, who loomed nearby, sensing my weakness, combined with the attacks of vengeful forces I had once conquered while they attacked the village. I watched her as I grew frail. I knew my time was ending. It was in the passing shadows of that suffocating heartache that I took my last breath, feeling the weight of my failures come crashing down as I saw Mena grasping my child. He does not belong here. His destiny lies in the village with a barren woman. Mena echoed. I lingered, watching my son's new life unfold. A barren woman with a heart of gold, she rescued Muson and, burdened by the weight of the village's whispers, took him in as her own. I wandered alongside them, a wisp of wind, a careful intervention when danger grew close. Each night drew me closer to the culmination of my hidden troubles. Years passed. My aunt, still engulfed in her careless life, unknowingly snatched at scraps of luck that I secretly provided. Knocking out stolen items from thieves for her to pick, but to her, she was just so lucky. I whispered kindness into the winds, instilled in her thoughts a ghostly benefactor from beyond, and she had no idea it was by my provisions that she survived, as selfish as she was. But when she fell sick, I could never intervene, because her choice of life caused the sickness. That was her karma. I too protected my son's family, providing little joys to keep them happy and united. Whenever one of them was in danger, I would easily help them out, behind and in the dark. They became the happiest family in the village. And Muson, he was the most lovable kid any parent could ask for. He was the heart of the village, so hard-working and respectful to people. He grew up in the care of the whole village, but they didn't know he saw visions and that a voice would wake him at night to train him to control his powers. And to save the village even though he didn't understand it. But now, as the night approached the full moon, I knew Muson would soon awaken. The air trembled with anticipation, and the shadows called tighter around my spirit. A force he alone could only conquer would come forth to threaten the village, and I, a prophet without a voice, often jingled hesitations around him through dreams. The whispered lessons had gathered weight, and he could not hide forever. Destiny beckoned. I have grown patient in these fleeting moments of existence. A magical crescendo is floating just beyond reach. I can sense his growing strength, yearning to burst forth like a volcano at the tipping point and lying dormant through all those years. He can't control it. His aura has changed and he seems restless, or more like in anticipation. The full moon will awaken his full power and he will rise. He must become the protector I failed to be. Only then can I finally rest, watching from the heavens to see my son weave tales of light where darkness once thrived. Standing proud in Materi village as its guardian. A tale to generations and a beacon of hope and fulfilled goals. So tonight I reached out to him. The night before the full moon, I went and called out to him. Son, wake up. It's time. He thought it was his adoptive mom, but when he didn't see anyone, he spoke out. You've been guiding me over the years. Who are you? I am your purpose. I didn't want him asking questions about his birth mother since he was happy with his family. Follow me. I led him to the deep forest where I taught him everything Mena had taught me, from awakening to controlling his powers, because I didn't want his immense power to overwhelm or even worse end up killing him. For him, it was easy since over the years, I kept whispering techniques. And as smart as he was, he knew how to do it. Only a little bit of technique, and that's what we polished. When it was morning, I left him and vanished. Take this deer with you. When they ask where you went, tell them you went hunting because you wanted your mom to drink a nice soup. But remember, you can trust your parents, they love you so much, they'll understand. It's in your destiny, not your fault. He looked at me with tears in his eyes, but I couldn't hold him back and encouraged him to go. I watched the worried look in his mom's eyes, but when she saw him carrying a deer, she smiled and pinched his ear lovingly, and in exchange, he started to wince dramatically, feigning pain, gave her the deer and followed her to the kitchen smiling and complaining of hunger. I knew he truly belonged to the village, for he found a family I couldn't give him, and I knew that would be the strongest rock he could lean on. Later that day, I saw him in a serious conversation with her, and I knew he was confiding in her. In exchange, she kept hugging and urging him. That's how I knew my son would never fail, because he has all the support he needs and I can finally cross over. His spirit will shine brighter than mine ever could. And my soul will finally rest in peace. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the story. If you have, please leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more stories like this.